5 Lincoln 103, 5 Lincoln 102, Lincoln 103 and 102.
Responding to 401 parking structure, section 1 boy.
Henry 8, Henry 9. Respond to gate 437, Bravo, for your dignitary detail. 3K 911, unattended, 400 lower level, near Carousel 4, black bag. GTA in progress, 401 parking structure, section 4 boy.
Responding to 401 parking structure, section 1 boy.
415 passenger onboard aircraft.
Control 2 Franklin en route.
484 suspect is female, Hispanic, 28 years of age, blue jeans, no further.
Control 5 Frank 401 is en route.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Friday edition of the Private Officer Beat Radio. I'm your host, Rick McCann, and we're glad that you are here on this 21st day. I believe that's right, 21st day of June 2019, as we are rushing we're rushing headlong into the summer. In fact, we have been bombarded with storms in the southeast region as well as many areas of the country for the last few weeks. One storm after the other, torrential downpours, tornadoes, thunderstorms, flooding. We've had significant damage in several states where we have offices, Virginia and the Carolinas. Also, in the Georgia area, as well as many other areas. In fact, we had a pretty severe storm late yesterday evening into the late night hours, and we've lost power ourselves several times. We've been without internet, cable, and phone service several times in the last week or so. And it really is just beginning. It's just beginning, and we're not even talking yet about the hurricane season, which started June 1st, about 3 weeks ago, but we're going to get into that. I do have an interesting fact to share with you. I just saw this yesterday, as a matter of fact. One of the reasons why the Atlantic is still pretty quiet as far as storms, normally, some years we kick off the hurricane season right away with some tropical depressions and tropical storms, and have even had a hurricane or two over the years. But I heard yesterday a very unique fact. One of the reasons why we have not seen that this year is actually sand. Sand is being blown from the continent of Africa, in that area, just a huge amount of wind blowing sand into the upper atmosphere, and that blocks the heat from rising and the cool air from colliding with that warm air and causing those storms. So they say that's probably going to last another week or so, maybe through early July even, which may prevent any severe, strong hurricane weather or tropical storms or depressions from developing. Of course, what's going to happen after that, well, that's that's anybody's guess. That we're not in charge of the weather. The man upstairs has full authority on that department, but we're going to definitely monitor it, because this year we could have a couple of very strong hurricanes, and we've already seen, like I said, the last few months with some really severe tornadoes, floods, torrential downpours, and I have just a slight feeling. I do have a feeling that we're gonna see some more damage, especially in the southeast area, where hurricanes occur between June and the end of September, early October. All right. Well, we've got a lot to share with you today, like always. A lot of news, a lot of tragedy in the news that we need to share with you. We're going to be talking, of course, about part two, the private security industry. It's just complicated. It really is. And last week and this week, we're only touching the surface, only scratching the surface of the real problem that we have. But the security industry is complicated. It's changing. It's evolving extremely fast. And I'm telling you, friends, if you have a security company, you work for a security company, if you don't stay on top of things, you're just not going to make it because the business is changing. We're going to talk about that coming up in the bottom half of this beautiful show that we've got going on. But we want to talk a little bit about our sponsors right now. We've got some great sponsors. We want to bring them out here. Yes, we want to share with you, huh? But it's Friday, folks. Come on, it's Friday. We got to get into it a little bit. We definitely want to recognize Body Armor USA. We've got what it takes to protect you, whether that's protective gear, body armor, clothing, gloves. Hey, we've got it all right here. Check us out, bodyarmorusa.com. Tell our friends over there that we sent you, and you're going to get a discount on anything and everything that you buy. They're great friends. They're lifetime members of the POI organization, and we appreciate them up there in New York. And we hope to be able to work together for a long time to come. But I'm telling you, if you need anything right now, and I think everybody, it doesn't matter if you're working unarmed in an office or you're working armed out in an apartment complex or an armored truck, you need to have body armor. It's just that simple. Go to them. Check them out today. Body Armor USA. We've got what it takes to protect you. We also want to thank our newest sponsors, EMS Academy. We train all BLS, basic life support, and ALS, advanced life support. We also offer first aid and CPR classes. We'll come to your place. You can come to ours. Check them out online today at EMS Academy. And our friends and neighbors in the Charlotte metro area, Premier Training, they want you to stop by. And if you need any type of North Carolina PPS security training or South Carolina SLED training, check them out. Give them a call, Premier Training Academy, right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. They're lifetime members as well, and they will treat you right. They'll give you a discount. Just let them know, hey, I said so. And that and $5 these days will get you a cup of coffee. But really, just give them a call today. Our friend John over there at Premier Training, and he will hook you up. If you would like to become a sponsor, advertise, market with Private Officer International, you can do this in an all-inclusive offer because instead of just, marketing on the radio, marketing in the magazine, marketing in the newsletter, we put together an all-inclusive package for anyone and everyone who markets with us. Send an email, helpdesk@privateofficer.com, or give us a call today at 704-831-8109. We'll include your marketing on all of our social media, on 3 of our websites, in the newsletter every day, in our magazine, on the radio show. We'll also share your information with all of our members and followers on all formats. And I'm telling you, you're going to get your name out there in front of the people who buy. The people who need your service, you're going to be able to reach them. Contact us today, 704-831-8109, or send us an email, helpdesk@privateofficer.com. And while you're at it, if you're not already subscribing to our free emails, news alerts, officer down reports, and bi-weekly newsletters and magazine, be sure to go to our website at privateofficer.org, privateofficer.org, and sign up today for that free information, the free news, the alerts coming to your email as soon as news happens and we're aware of it. You're going to be aware of it. Go to privateofficer.org, privateofficer.org, and sign up today. They're free and valuable information. So many companies and trainers and academies use our news for their curriculum to update and keep their staff informed of what's going on, and I'm telling you, it's extremely valuable. We have a full-time news department, 24/7, 365. We don't even let them off for Christmas. I know it's terrible, but somebody's got to do it. So we have staff all the time, 7 days a week, and we're getting out the news as quickly as we're made aware of it. Very valuable stuff that others are charging a premium for. Go to some of these news websites these days. They have a paywall up for their articles, and you can subscribe for $100 a year, or you can pay $15 a week. But at Private Officer, right now, you can do it for free. We're going to give it to you for free, whether you are a member or not. But we encourage you to become a member if you aren't already. Go to privateofficer.org and sign up today. Like I said at the beginning, we do have a lot of news breaking, and we definitely want to bring it to you, but we do have some sad, tragic news. 3 security officers have been killed in the line of duty this week, and 3 others have died in car accidents or natural causes. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, a few days ago, a security officer breaking up a fight at a hookah lounge was shot and killed. Now, hookah lounges are becoming very popular across the country. There are some regulation problems, and unfortunately, this security was in a situation where he was alone. We don't know if he was armed or unarmed. We were told that he was armed, but we don't know. We have not confirmed that. Another security officer died in Raleigh, North Carolina. He, too, was shot to death, and he was killed during a disturbance at a party at a event location, and a confrontation ensued, and he tried to escort the men outdoors. One of them pulled a firearm, and he was shot several times and died at the hospital. A third security officer in Alabama was found dead in his vehicle, in uniform, on an account, on a business, and police have listed that as a suspicious death at this time. Now, 2 others, including a Dallas and a Beaumont, Texas, school security officers, both of them, in 2 separate incidents, died in traffic accidents. Very tragic situation. We don't know all the details, and we have released their names. You can find it on our news blog. And a third person, a female security officer, died of natural causes. She had returned from work in the late night hours, and the next morning she was found deceased. Our condolences and prayers go out to all of our people, all of our security officer family, everyone who is seeing the tragedy, to their families, their coworkers, their friends. And we've also had a number of police officers killed. In fact, police officer killed yesterday in Sacramento, a rookie female police officer on the job for less than 18 months, and that's including the academy and the hiring and all that, really only on the road for a few months, was killed by gunfire during some type of active shooter standoff, and very tragic. We've listed her name on our news blog as well. It is a troubling time. It always has been, but in my opinion, times are changing drastically. Anyone wearing a uniform, a badge, is really going to be in harm's way no matter where they're working, no matter what detail, what account, what agency. I'm seeing it. I'm feeling it. I'm being involved in it, and it's dangerous. There was a time when I didn't always carry off-duty. I carry now, and I just think that we need to be really super aware of our surrounding. I mean, we really need, at all times, no matter what we're doing, to have the wherewithal to understand the atmosphere and to know what's happening where we're at, what the people are up to, and, yeah, we do have to be suspicious. Not everyone's guilty. Not everyone's out to harm us, but it's a different world, and we do have to be aware of our surroundings. Situational awareness, very important on and off duty. Today, in the bottom half of our show, we're going to complete the private security industry, It's Complicated segment. So don't miss that. There's a lot of stuff that you definitely want to be aware of. We're going to talk about all of the news that's happening, and we're going to talk about the trend in security when we come back after this first little break, this first little public service announcement. Don't go away. You're listening to the Private Officer Beat Radio.
Slow down.
And move over.
When you see lights, vests,
or reflectors, please give us some room. Slow down.
And move over.
we look out for you.
So look out for us.
Please.
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 Slow down.
And move over.
It's the law.
It's the law. It's the law.
Hey, folks, right now, if you haven't heard, we're in the middle of our 2019 Private Officer Award nominations. Now, you can, whether you're a member of our association or not, doesn't matter, you can nominate your coworker, your friend, maybe your coworker is your friend. You can nominate them, your supervisor, the owner of the business, even yourself, somebody that you've seen in the news recently who's done something great. It could be somebody who is just proactive, somebody who is dedicated and always there. It could be somebody who's recently performed some type of life-saving skill to save and help somebody. It could be somebody who is brave and who recently captured a bank robber or a murderer, or just, could be Joe, the coworker who is just a great person. All that you got to do is go to our website at privateofficer.org or send us an email at helpdesk@privateofficer.com and nominate them today. We only have another week or so that we'll be taking nominations, so be sure that you have them in now. If you get our newsletters, then there's going to be links on the newsletters, and you can just go to that link, follow directions, and send those nominations in to us today. If you are not a member and you want to be a member, but you really don't have a whole lot of extra cash laying around up under your mattress, that's okay. We're willing to set up payments for you. Send us an email, helpdesk@privateofficer.com. helpdesk@privateofficer.com. We have some other things happening right now. We have some free training workshops. We announce them on our social media. If you don't already, you need to follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on a number of other locations, including our news blog. Those are the locations that we publicize all of our information, all of our upcoming training, all of our promotion announcements, our job openings, just everything. Now, we have a number of companies that we own, operate, or are invested in, and we're always looking for employees. We're always looking for support staff. So go to our website and check it out, or send us an email at helpdesk@privateofficer.com. Right now, we are looking for regulatory instructors in Virginia, DCJS, firearm instructor. If you are a certified firearm instructor with DCJS for at least 3 years, you can earn $20 to $25 an hour. Contact Carrie, Carrie, at Armour, ARMOUR, college.org, and we will set you up for an interview. We're also looking for regulatory instructors in North and South Carolina, as well as Washington, D.C. for the Special Police Program. If you're certified and you have at least 3 years of experience, we can guarantee you're going to make the highest hourly rate, and you're also going to have some benefits and some other great things that we have for our employees, including credit union, sick days, a lot of different support services, free training and certification. Contact Carrie today. Carrie, Carrie, at armorcollege.org. Call her today at 804-290-4388. We're also hiring lifeguard instructors in Virginia and North Carolina. If you are a lifeguard instructor, call Carrie at 804-290-4388. We're also looking for a certified Level 2 firefighter instructor, and we have some other openings as well in sales and marketing. Again, send her your resume at Carrie at Armour College, ARMOUR college.org. Private Officer International also is hiring, and we have posted those job openings at privateofficer.org. Now we have 5 different companies that also franchise their units. So if you are interested in maybe chaplaincy and you'd like to work in your own business, we have that available. You can also franchise one of our Armour College units, and we have several other businesses that are also available on a franchise entry level for you. Contact us at helpdesk@privateofficer.com for more information. Okay, always a lot going on. Right now we have a lot to talk about in the news. A lot of things are happening, and they always do happen. You know, this time of the year we talk about how things really start heating up, not only in the temperature, but also with security officer involved injuries, assaults, shootings, and unfortunately fatalities. And that is happening. In the last month, we've tracked 153 shooting incidents involving private security, including 9 that were fatal, multiple serious injuries, just a lot of stuff happening across the country. Every day we talk about in our office, we talk in between training sessions, we talk to our students when we're on the road or in the classroom about the changing times, the dangers, and it's really serious, folks. It really is, no doubt. If you don't have a vest, we really encourage you to find a way to get one, make a payment plan. There are companies out there. We have several vendors that we use that will happily put you on a payment plan. Contact helpdesk@privateofficer.com today. We also have some great specials happening for our members. If you want to really enhance your career, we've got career mentoring at no cost. We'll set it up for you. Career mapping, where we look at your experience, your training, and help you to route a way into the career that you want to. It might not even be in the security industry. It might not even be in law enforcement. We can help you do that. Contact us at helpdesk@privateofficer.com. If you are having a birthday, an anniversary, you've just got a promotion, whether you're a member or not, send that information to helpdesk@privateofficer.com, helpdesk@privateofficer.com. We love to publicize it and make our followers aware of what's happening in your neck of the woods. If you have a training situation, if you own a training company and you want to announce your classes, we'll do that for you as well. Contact us at helpdesk@privateofficer.com. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to really lay it on you. We're going to put the news on you. We're going to put some other things on you, some information, news and information segment coming up right after this PSA. You're listening to the Private Officer Beat Radio. Don't go away, because at the bottom half of today's program, we'll be talking about the private security industry and how it really is a complicated business. We'll be right back here on the Private Officer Beat Radio Network.
For some children, America isn't the land of promise. It's a place where every day is a struggle. Because today in America, 1 in 6 children lives below the poverty line. For these children, living in poverty means going without medicine, going without food, going without a warm home, or even a roof over your head. And that's life for nearly 13 million children of all races, all across America. Where will you draw the line and get involved? You can help these children and their families find a way out of poverty for good. And you can make a difference in more ways than you think. Will you help? Go to povertyusa.org today, because 1 in 6 children in poverty is one too many. A message from the Catholic Campaign.
Remember, there's a lot of ways to get involved in the private officer organization. Go to our website at privateofficer.org today. You can get involved in emergency response services, the chaplain corps. You can also get involved in opening a chapter in your area. And, of course, don't forget being part of our social media community. You can also be a news hound and make sure that you report the news happening in your area to our help desk, so that we can get that information out to our members and followers. You can also be part of the annual Private Officer Memorial Services held the 3rd week of September every year. If you would like to sponsor a memorial service in your area, at your school, business, or church, make sure you contact us at helpdesk@privateofficer.com. In the news today, the Chattanooga man has been found guilty in the killing of a security officer. Police say Andrew Wilson Jr., 34, who was originally charged with second-degree murder, has pled guilty to a lesser offense of manslaughter. He'll be serving 15 years in prison in the murder of Johnny Sanders, a security officer at a nightclub in 2016. Police in Phoenix, Arizona are looking for a man who attacked a security officer at a Circle K store while he was robbing it. Police say they have a great picture and surveillance of the man during the June 9th robbery on the Circle K on 42nd Avenue and Indian School Road. Police have distributed that picture widely. In Bluffton, South Carolina, school resource officers, security, and investigators have made an arrest for a rape at a May River High School. A student raped a 15-year-old classmate in the bathroom during class. Bluffton Police Department have charged Isaiah Cash with sexual misconduct and rape of a minor. Again, this did happen during class. Arrest at the Bonnaroo Music Festival just outside of Nashville, an annual event that draws more than 70,000 people every year. Arrests are down, they said, by half in 2019, but citations were up by 95%. Normally, about 400 people are arrested during every music festival, but in this year's festival, they said that changed because they issued citations in lieu of physical arrest. Police said that they did make arrests, but opted for citations for most misdemeanor violations. In Wake County, North Carolina, police, Highway Patrol, and the Sheriff's Department were all involved yesterday in a high-speed pursuit at 4:30 in the morning after a couple had robbed the Walmart store of Apple products, iPads, and iPhones. The chase lasted quite a while and went down Interstate 40. Police eventually corralled the two and took them into custody and recovered the merchandise. A nurse in Independence, Missouri, has been charged with raping a patient. The nurse was identified during an investigation, and as he planned to flee the country, police were able to take him into custody. In Huntington Park, California, police there have deployed RoboCop robots to patrol and monitor public areas. This is going to be used at parks and other municipal properties. They have purchased several of these robots that have 360-degree HD video and cameras, and they will respond, law enforcement will respond to any incidents that they report. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of technology being used both in security as well as law enforcement. A security officer accidentally shot himself 2 days ago in San Antonio, Texas. Police said they were called out to the North Star Mall, where a security officer apparently had a self-inflicted injury, although they don't know how that happened. An investigation is underway. They took the security officer to the hospital. He is in good condition. In Raleigh, North Carolina, police have made an arrest in a murder of a security officer. Dana Lee Hopkins was working security at a rental hall on Capitol Boulevard when he was trying to break up a fight and was shot by the combatants. Police say he was shot multiple times. Suspects are in custody. A rookie Sacramento, California police officer on the job for just 6 months after graduating the academy, Tara O'Sullivan, 26, died after being shot, responding to a domestic situation. Suspects in that situation have been taken into custody. Police say a man dressed as a security officer in Houston, Texas, robbed a Cholowski's restaurant. It's a sub and deli place, and they say that the man was dressed as a security officer when he pointed a firearm and robbed the people inside. A shoplifter has been arrested for threatening a security officer during a theft incident in Santa Ana at the Rite Aid in the 3300 block of Bristol Street. Police have the suspect, Michael Boyce Davis, in custody. The security officer was not injured. A very bizarre story coming out of Freeport, Illinois. A man there arrested attached to an IV. An IV was in his arm at a hospital, at FHN Memorial Hospital. The man, identified as Shaquille Dukes, was out for a walk with that IV in his arm when security approached him and accused him of trying to steal the device. Police were called. He was arrested on several charges and will have a court appearance in July. Kind of unique. Not really sure if this was legit, but we're going to follow it and see what happens in court. 4 fatal shootings involving security officers happened in the last 72 hours. 2 incidents happening in Charlotte, North Carolina. One happened in Tucson, where a man had entered a private business looking for his ex-girlfriend, and when security tried to escort him off the property, he pulled a gun. Security and the man was involved in a shootout, and the man succumbed to his injuries. An Alabama security officer was fatally shot, and also a Tulsa security officer was also fatally shot. In Akron, Ohio, a security officer at a construction site heard some type of conflict going on. When he went out to see what was happening, he found a 23-year-old woman being threatened by a man, and the man and the security officer again exchanged gunfire, and police have him in custody. TSA said they found 6 smoke grenades in a passenger's bag at Newark Liberty International Airport in Newark, New Jersey. The man was on the way to the Dominican Republic. TSA said they confiscated the smoke grenades, and police were called to investigate that. 3 men in Jacksonville, Florida have been charged with assaulting a security officer at the liquor depot. After a conflict occurred in the store, the 3 men were asked to leave, and they assaulted the security officer. Police were able to corral them up quickly and charged all 3 with assault and disorderly conduct. A woman in Buffalo, New York, has been charged with assaulting a security officer at the Mercy Hospital. This occurred over the weekend, giving the security officer a bloody nose. The police were called at about 9:40 after the woman was asked to leave the property, but got louder, began screaming, and punched the security officer in the face. Jacelyn E. Willis, 25, of Buffalo, has been charged with felony assault on a peace officer, second-degree harassment, and is in custody today. 5 security officers were injured in Phoenix, Arizona, at the Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport when a man tried to rush the security checkpoint. The security officers got into a scuffle with 19-year-old Tyrese Gardner. Police at the airport quickly moved in and took him into custody. The security officers were all transported to the hospital but are in good condition. A security officer in Houston, Texas, has been charged with murder after shooting an unarmed man who was dumpster diving behind a washarita, a laundry mat of sorts. This occurred in the 8200 block of Broadway. Police said that the man did not pose a problem. He had been asked previously not to come back to the property. The security officer approached him. The man began to walk toward the security officer, and that's when the security officer pulled his firearm and fired upon him. Also occurring in Houston, a security officer is being praised and called a hero after he stopped 2 masked men from robbing a Boost Mobile store off Fulton in North Houston Saturday. The vigilant security officer, Tomas Garcia, said he was only doing his job. He saw the men with masks entering the store, and he immediately confronted them. The 2 men got away with nothing, and the security officer is being praised tonight. A lot of news happening. If you want to see more news, if you want it right there in your mailbox, go to our website at privateofficer.org, privateofficer.org, and sign up today. It's free. You're going to get all the breaking news, officer down reports, training invites, and so much more. privateofficer.org. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the private security industry. It's complicated. You know that. I know that. We know that. And yet, here we are. We're still working in the business. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away. We've got a lot of information in part 2 of the private security industry. It's complicated.
Federal Aviation Administration wants you to fly your drone responsibly. Avoid flying your drone near other aircraft, especially near airports. Fly your drone below 400 feet. Always keep your drone in sight. If you see a safety issue involving drones, contact local law enforcement immediately. Fly smart. Fly safe. Have fun.
back in the 1970s when I first entered the private security business, it was a staffing business. Let's get real. Let's talk about what it really was. Let's be honest. For years, almost since, it began, the private security business has been a staffing business. Put a body in there in a uniform and let them be a fire watch, let them be an access control, let them be a sentry, and let's get on with it. That's security protection. But things have really, really changed, and there's a lot of different areas of the business that needs our special techniques, our special training, requires upgraded personnel. And there's a lot of areas involving regulatory issues and so much more that's happening here in the private security industry that is really, really complicating it. We said last time that it's exploding. The private security industry is no longer about physical manpower. Let's start with the regulatory issues. Some states license private security and some states don't. Some states will license only contract and not proprietary. Some states will only license armed and not the unarmed. Kind of confusing, isn't it? Some states don't license anybody at all. Some states will only license a contract company and not a bouncer. You have to know what states require what license, what training, and what you have to do to be in compliance. My own personal opinion is security is security. It doesn't matter if you're working on an event, at a concert, at a special downtown event going on, some summer festival. You're security, not access control, not a safety watch. You're security. Let's call it what it is. If you're working as a bouncer at a nightclub, you're working security. You might be working a door, but that's called access control. You might be checking on driver's license and age, but that's called security. That's what we do. And unfortunately, a lot of companies try to sidestep that, as we spoke about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But that's one of the issues that we have in our business and in our industry today is the regulatory issues. We need to license everybody who works even in a remotely security-related field. If you are a doorman, if you are a bouncer, if you're working special events, if you're, scanning somebody through, if you're wanding somebody, if you're putting them through a metal detector, then you're working security, friend. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're on fire watch and access control, you're security. Armed or unarmed. We need to professionalize our industry once and for all, and herein lies a big problem because many companies don't want to put forth the effort, go through the expense of licensing everybody or training them, and we have a big conflict in the industry because of that. It's up to the states. There's never going to be a federal law. We hear about people all the time. Well, there should be a federal law that says everybody's got to be licensed. Everybody's got to go through a background check. Everybody's got to go through a range qualification. Well, yeah, there should be, but nationally there's no federal law for law enforcement. There is what's called a POST, police officer standards. That's the minimum that's required in every state. So we could have something like that. But as far as mandating the hours of training, the requirements, that's going to be left up to the state just like it is now. And every state's going to be different. That's where we have serious regulatory issues, especially now. Security has changed since I've come in. Security has changed since 9/11. Security has changed since last year. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Regulatory issues needs to be once and for all modified so that all states have a minimum required training for unarmed and armed and a minimum screening and, we've talked about this before. Many security personnel and company owners say, well, it's not necessary. We know what to do. We don't need all this. Every professional field, whether you're a certified nurse assistant, an EMT, a paramedic, a firefighter, law enforcement, they all have minimal standards. They have standards required by the state. You can do more training. You can do much more in screening who you hire, but this is the minimum standard. And we need the minimum standard, whether that be 40 hours, 100 hours of training, whether that be going through mental health screening, whatever it might be. We need those minimal standards nationwide in every state. And that's just how it is, because security is changing. And our clients, the public, they are requiring more of us. It's not observe and report. It's not stand around in a uniform and that's security, because, we don't need those things anymore. We have cameras, we have robots, we have all sorts of secondary security. We don't need somebody in uniform if you're not going to be responsive, if you're not going to be proactive, if you're not going to be there to respond and assist a victim of a crime, a victim of an emergency, a medical emergency. Regulatory issues need to be resolved. The second thing that needs to be resolved goes right along hand in hand with regulatory, and that's the training requirements. I believe that we need mental health emergency training. We need better de-escalation training. We definitely need more use of force training. A couple of hours of use of force, even 8 hours of use of force, just doesn't cut it these days. We're seeing police departments requiring more de-escalation, more less lethal training, more mental health emergency response training, more crisis intervention training, more firearm training, and that's because that's what we're dealing with in the field. And if you're not educated, if you're not trained, if you're not prepared, then that's where the problem comes in. That's where situations happen where we don't respond appropriately and we get in trouble, we even get arrested, and we're seeing more police officers and security officers fall in those categories. So we need more mental health training, more de-escalation technique training. I'm not talking about from a book or PowerPoint. I'm talking about from classroom, hands-on, skill-based, and real-life scenario type training. We need to get that done. We need better pay and better benefits, and it's up to us as an industry to educate clients and to together stand and push for that. The wages, we just did a survey last month. The minimum wage for unarmed security is about $11.48, something like that. Armed, the minimum is 14 something. We need to adjust that. And, yeah, of course, we're going to have to make our clients understand that it's a necessity. If you want quality people and you want us to respond appropriately to these emergencies, we have to be able to recruit people. And we can't recruit the Walmart, the Burger King employee, the guy that, has been through 15 jobs in the last 5 years. We got to recruit more professional people because this is a profession. We also want to make sure that we understand that security today is a multi-tiered security function. In other words, we're not just one tier. We're not just one job. We have multiple jobs. We could be access control at an office where all we're doing is checking employee IDs and logging in visitors. But on the other side of that coin, we are in schools and we're taking the place of school resource officers. We're responding to many different type of calls for service. We're out in the apartments and condominiums and HOAs where we are essentially the police on that property. We're responding to the burglary, to the domestic call, to the medical emergency. We're going to be the guy there first. The shopping mall is a city within the city. I preach this all the time. Everything that could happen in your neighborhood happens at the mall. Believe it, because it does. It just doesn't happen as often, thank goodness, or to the same magnitude all the time. But I've been involved in mall security. I've seen rapes. I've seen shootings. I've seen dead people. I've seen, grand larceny, all type of felony and misdemeanor crimes at the mall. It happens. We have nuclear security. We have government contracts. We provide security at facilities like the federal courthouse, where our security officers, our contract officers, were involved in an active shooter engaged for multiple minutes and took down a threat, shot and killed a man who had come to do harm to those at the Dallas Federal Courthouse. We have many different environments that we work in. Some are very hostile, some are very dangerous, others not so much, but you never know until you're there. We need to be able to match the skill and the education and training level of the officer to the account, not just put anybody in the account, not just put any uniform, it's a body, it'll do. No. When we have 25 and 30,000 security officers injured every year, 100 to 140 killed on the job every year, 80%, 85% by gunfire, we can't just put anybody on every account. We really need to specifically train our people to the same quality, to the same level, so that they are able to go to all of accounts, or get a specialized team where we train them to a higher level. And of course, we're going to pay them to a higher level. We're a multi-tier security company, security business, security industry. Lawyers and doctors, they do 100 different things, or they do one real good. They're a specialist or they're a generalist. Right now, what we're seeing is security companies that are still stuck in the 70s and 80s in the observe and report, body in the uniform. They're losing contracts because what's happening is many clients, small and large, are going to a multi level security program. They're using robotics. They're using electronic security, cameras, motion sensors. They're pairing that up with physical security, contract security on site, and mobile response. We're also even seeing upcoming driverless patrols where there won't be a driver in the vehicle. It'll be all done remotely, just like you're seeing cars out on the road without a driver. Just saw in the news this past week, buses gearing up in several cities, including Charlotte, North Carolina, to be driverless. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's the safest thing in the world. I doubt it, but it's the reality of our business. Police department in California just deployed robots to patrol parks. I've seen robots patrolling schools. Well, who's manning those robots? Of course, security. Who's responding to those issues once notified by the robots? Security and police. So we have to be able to have multi-pronged security programs available for those clients and customers who want it. Not everybody's going to want it, but unfortunately or fortunately, many do. And we have to be able to provide that level of expertise and security, or we're going to lose out. I'm also seeing that many security companies are being almost forced to expand to either a regional market or a national market because, one of the ways that I grew my security company is that I got in with management companies that were regional or national. I got in with construction companies that were regional or national. And so wherever they got a contract, they took our company. And thankfully, that was what allowed us to open up new offices and to expand our business to 5 states and 9 offices and multiple other mobile accounts. So we're seeing more and more clients, demanding that if you can't provide the service, we're going to go with the big guys. And that's why many national security companies, and I'm not going to mention their names, but they're getting the bigger contracts, the bigger customer, because they're able to provide that service, not just on the local level, but on the regional or national level. private security is very, very complicated, and it's not going to get any less complicated. It's going to get even more complicated, more dangerous. It's going to be more demanding. Our customers are going to be more demanding. I mean, you're going to have to be everything to everyone, or you're going to lose out to the larger security companies. And unfortunately, that's how it is in business. Whether you're Walmart, McDonald's, Geico Insurance, whoever it might be, they provide all types of services to all type of customers across the country and around the world. And that's where we're at. We're seeing a lot of other security trends. We're going to talk about that next week. 8 of the top security trends in 2019. But for now, that's going to do it for us on this edition of the Private Officer Beat Radio, and we're glad that you've been here. We hope that you've taken something from the program, taken away some information, and maybe even encouraged you, enticed you, excited you to get more involved in your company, expand it, include some other things that you might not be comfortable with, but you know and I know it's going to be really the only way to survive. Thanks for being here. Until the next time, be blessed, be safe, and we'll see you back here on the radio.